It's November 15th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today in the Treasury Titans. And Michael Saylor, listen, he realizes that it feels like the Titanic is going down. He realizes that it feels like everything's going to the bottom, that everything's going to zero. But he wants us to know he believes we need to hodl. We need to hodl because why? This life raft right here, this is the Bitcoin life raft. And this right here, this ship is not Bitcoin. This ship is not strategy. This ship is fiat currency around the world. And it's not something new. Fiat currency has been going to zero forever since the moment it was ever printed out of a printing machine because you know why. There's no scarcity. It's not a pure form of capital. It is a sinking ship. And that's okay because we have Bitcoin. So hodl. And I know it doesn't feel good right now being in the mid 90s. I know it does not feel great. But guess what? I'm hodling. I hope a lot of the listeners right now are also on the same board that they feel like they can just sit back, ride out this storm because good times are ahead. But of course, nothing in this video is financial advice. These are the tough times. We're not going to pretend they're not tough times. I'm not going to pretend that they don't suck. I just don't like these types of markets because I'm not a short seller. The only people that like these types of markets are short sellers. Period. End of story. Will the bulls take back control? I think so. I hope so. That is, of course, the expectation going forward because I don't see it possibly laying out or unfolding any other way. And let's keep moving on because we got some things to talk about. Michael Saylor bought Bitcoin every day this week. He bought Bitcoin every day this week. And guess what? He's probably going to buy Bitcoin every day next week and every day next month and every day and every day and every day. It's very likely going to happen. Let's keep moving on. Michael Saylor wants us to know there is no truth to this rumor. Well, what rumor? Just the blatant lie, like the disgusting lie that is being spread by people that just want clicks, want engagement, want the stock to keep going down because they're shorting it, whatever the thing may be. FOMOing because they're not in the stock. They want people to think that Bitcoin, that strategy sold 47,000 Bitcoin, going from 484,000 Bitcoin to 437 Bitcoin. I mean, they can't even get the number of Bitcoin the strategy has rights. I mean, they're underselling this by about 160,000 Bitcoin from what strategy actually has. So it's just an absolute joke, this whole clickbaits world that we live in right now. I mean, bots have mastered this. Anytime you see this, you need to just assume it's a bot that is trying to manufacture, bots that are being created to manufacture FUD, to manufacture fear, uncertainty, and doubts. Michael Saylor came on and said there's no truth to this rumor, but you know what? The rumors are already out there. It's one of those things. AA says MSTR just broke his premium streak and is trading below NAV for the first time since early 2024. So remember, it actually was below NAV in early 2024. That's just like January and February of last year. That's not a crazy time frame if you think about that. In other words, you're literally getting $1 Bitcoin exposure for less than $1. This screams opportunity. But here's the pattern every cycle. MSTR discounts, Bitcoin runs. MSTR premium snaps back harder and faster. The market just handed you a discount on a leveraged Bitcoin vehicle. Most people will miss it. I'm not going to miss it because I'm not going anywhere. And Chris says, if MSTR is not going to zero, it's going to $40,000 a share. And I think we all know that MSTR is not going to zero because Bitcoin's not going to zero. Adam says, multiples come and go. The floor raises higher. Pa-ping, 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 ping, 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 ping. This is what's been happening as you've been holding your shares of MSTR. Your MSTR SaaS per share have been doing nothing but going up and to the right. And BitPain says, if you were selling MSTR in 2022, you should have been buying. If you were buying in November 2024, when you should have been selling, or better yet, holding as a long-term investor. If now you are selling when you should be buying, congratulations, you are dumb money. And this is BitPain. And this is just, Mark says, the MSTR market cap is less than the value of his Bitcoin holdings. Do what you want with this information. Down to 0.97. Do what you want with this information. Chris says, the overcorrection in the MSTR stock price last November completely distorted people's perception of the company. It set a false anchor. The reality is that strategy didn't deserve to trade at such a high valuation back then, the same way it doesn't deserve to trade at such a low valuation now. This is just how markets work. It did not deserve to be shot up to $543 per share back when it had 135,000 Bitcoin in the reserves. It does not deserve to be $199 today when it has 642,000 Bitcoin in the reserves. Soon to be many more with their huge buy through stream and a great stretch week last week. I mean, it's absolutely insane. The market is just crazy here. I think you know it and I know it. People that actually have done the work know it. And time will tell. It's an anchor. Time will tell. I wanted to just play this 55-second clip from Michael Saylor. It was absolutely a great time for him to jump on yesterday and share these words. And then I have an awesome 3-minute clip from Joe Burdett. You don't want to miss this, so definitely stick around for that as well. But sit back and enjoy.
What does the upside at this moment look like to you, and what does the downside in this moment look like to you?
You know, I feel like we put in a pretty strong base of support around here. There's an incredible amount of leverage coming out of the system, a lot of liquidation. A lot of the OG holders were selling at the $100,000 level, and so I'm fairly comfortable at this level. I would think that we'll build from this base and we'll rally from here. Obviously, it's hard to make a forecast for the end of the year right now, given what's happened over the past few weeks, and especially the shift in the macro environment. But, you know, as you know, my view is Bitcoin's going to outperform gold. It's going to outperform the S&P. It is digital capital. And so if you're a long-term investor, this is the place to be.
Senator Cynthia Lummis recently announced that funding for a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve can start anytime. This is a massive step forward for a strategic crypto stockpile, and no surprise, was soon followed by a new all-time high for Bitcoin. If you're looking to buy more Bitcoin, BitIRA can help. In fact, BitIRA will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into Bitcoin. This also allows you to buy Bitcoin using pre-tax funds, then continue to invest in it over time as you do any other retirement account. And if you want, you can even add XRP, Ethereum, or other cryptos. BitIRA protects your assets with end-to-end insurance, highly secure storage, multi-encryption, and is registered with the US government. Your IRA is fully IRS compliant. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without incurring taxes on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Think about this. In March, President Trump signed an executive order for the Treasury to manage 200,000 Bitcoin as the foundation for a reserve. That's just the foundation. Go to bitira.com/JLD to open a tax-sheltered IRA in Bitcoin. Fire Nation, when you want more for your business, more privacy, more guidance, more success, it all starts with Northwest Registered Agents. These legends have been helping entrepreneurs launch and grow their businesses for nearly 30 years. They're the largest registered agent and LLC service in the U.S. with over 1,500 corporate guides, real people who know your state's laws and actually care about helping you win. With Northwest, you can build your complete business identity, everything from what your customers see to what they don't, operating agreements, meeting minutes, compliance paperwork, and more. You'll get thousands of free resources, lawyer drafted forms, and step-by-step guides all in one place, and you don't even need to create an account to access them. Best part, privacy is automatic. Northwest never sells your data and handles everything in-house. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks and 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/JLD free.
Years ago on May 12th, 2022, MicroStrategy traded down to a fully diluted MNAV of 0.71. This was near the bottom of the last Bitcoin bear market. Bitcoin was around $28,000 per coin, and almost everyone was in the process of giving up on MSTR. Twitter and news articles were filled with Saylor's incorrect Bitcoin liquidation price, and market sentiment around Bitcoin, and especially MicroStrategy, was terrible. Yet nothing had really changed about the strategy. MSTR was still using what Saylor calls intelligent leverage to amplify the future returns of Bitcoin by borrowing at a cost lower than Bitcoin's long-term expected CAGR. At that point, Bitcoin had been falling for many months since its November 2021 peak. Looking back on Bitcoin's history, this was an incredible moment to buy an amplified Bitcoin position. For MSTR, you were effectively buying Bitcoin at a discount and gaining access to relatively cheap leverage. From those levels, MSTR went on to rise more than 2,000% to where it was earlier this year. It has massively outperformed from its 2022 low, even after the poor performance this year. Now, when you look at Bitcoin treasury companies today, you can see a similar dynamic playing out. Market demand for amplified Bitcoin has fallen, not because of the fundamentals of Bitcoin. The fundamentals remain incredibly sound. Bitcoin's monetary policy is immutable, predictable, and known for centuries to come. The technology remains censorship resistant. What has changed is simply short term demand for amplified Bitcoin exposure. If you still believe Bitcoin today, you can see a similar dynamic playing out. Market demand for amplified Bitcoin has fallen, not because of the fundamentals of Bitcoin. The fundamentals remain incredibly sound. Bitcoin's monetary policy is immutable, predictable, and known for centuries to come. The technology remains censorship resistant. What has changed is simply short term demand for amplified Bitcoin exposure. If you still believe Bitcoin is a long term savings technology and you expect a Bitcoin CAGR north of 15% over the next decade, then amplified Bitcoin is perhaps interesting here, just like it was in 2022. Could Bitcoin and amplified Bitcoin go lower in the short term? Absolutely. But the situation today should not be surprising. There's nothing abnormal about it. This exact setup occurred 3.5 years ago. It is just striking to watch sentiment shift so dramatically. Volatility plays with emotions and can distort how people feel about their investment thesis, especially if they are overexposed or do not truly have conviction in what they hold. If someone's investment thesis around Bitcoin has changed and they now expect Bitcoin to have a lower future compound annual growth rate than the cost of amplification, then of course they would not want to hold amplified Bitcoin. But if they still believe Bitcoin is a superior long term savings technology, then amplified Bitcoin remains potentially compelling. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you next time.
What's the second best? There is no second best.